another Talk About It Tuesday. And believe it or not, I actually got a slightly different version of this same question twice yesterday. So I kind of consolidated the question into one. But listen to this. I have a small group of friends who are trying to convince me to trade stocks. They have been learning how to do it on YouTube and believe they will be millionaires in a few years. Is this a good way to make a lot of money? All right, is it a good way to make a lot of money? Well, let's start with a lot of money first, because a lot of money is extremely relative. And I'll give you a couple of examples of how I know that it's relative. So back in, I want to say 2007, I hired a young secretary who had just come up from South Carolina to New York City. And at the time in New York, I think the minimum wage may have been like $7 an hour or something like that. And I told her starting pay would be $10 an hour. And she said, woo, that's more than my mama makes back home. And so she was so excited to be getting $10 an hour because that's more than her mama made back home. So for her, that was a lot of money. And fast forward, I have a client, and I won't use his name. Hopefully he doesn't recognize it from the video, but he's an attorney. And I did a consultation with him because he wants to start investing. And he said, well, I have a lot of money to invest, and probably way more than your other clients. And I'm thinking to myself, wow, how much money does this guy have? I said, well, how much are you working with? And he said, $20,000. And I almost fell out laughing because this is New York City. And just to do a real estate transaction, most real estate transactions in New York are $1 million or more. So for him to think his $20,000 was a lot of money to be invested when I have clients who are investing millions of dollars in real estate, it was funny, So when people say they're making a lot of money, or is this a good way to make a lot of money, you have to figure out what they're talking about when they say a lot of money, because that means something different for everyone. When you're not used to having any money, it doesn't take much for somebody to think, a small amount to someone else is a lot. So, but let's just deal with this stock trading. Can you make a lot of money? Absolutely. There are people who make a lot of money every single day trading stocks. But there are far more people who lose a lot of money every single day trying to trade stocks. So can it fall in the realm of making a lot of money? Sure. But that's like saying, can you make a lot of money acting? Yes, we know there are a few people who make a lot of money acting, but most actors that I know don't make much money acting, so they have a side gig. So yes, on the first part, it can make a lot of money. But now, is it a good way to make money? Also requires a little self-reflection and analysis. So if we talk about a good way, are you talking about, is it legal? Yes, it's legal. Is it safe? I guess it depends on how you assess risk. Is it physically safe? Yes. Is your money safe? Not necessarily. There's a risk involved in that. So you have to analyze risk and your tolerance for risk. You have to decide, do you have the prerequisite knowledge and skills that are needed to be successful at it? And if you don't, are you willing to take the time to learn the knowledge and skills that are necessary to be successful at it? Can it net you the amount of money that you're looking for in a given amount of time? See, some people don't really put together time and money. So the amount of money, these people's friends think they're going to make millions. It's so difficult to make millions in a few years trading, because you have to have a lot of money to start with in order to make, big money. So if they're trading small amounts, even if they're doing options, I know people say, oh, if they're doing options, they can, get more out of it. It doesn't matter. You still have to have a certain amount of seed money to be able to make big money, which if they had that kind of money, they probably wouldn't be doing their own trading anyway, right? But anyway, that's another story. So again, knowledge, skills, risk, effort. Are you willing to put in the type of effort that's necessary, meaning giving up your time, your energy, your effort? For some people, it's not worth it, right? I mean, if you look at the amount of money that people are getting out of it, most people are getting out of it. If you lived in New York City, you might be better off getting a part-time security guard job. If the minimum wage here is $15 an hour now, and you work 4 hours a day, that's $60 a day. That's 5 days a week. That's $300 a week. You multiply that by 52 weeks, you're talking about like $15,600 that you can get extra on a job where you don't have to do anything but pretty much sit around and collect money. Of course, that money is going to be taxed, but all money that's realized, even when you're doing your trading, is going to be taxed. Different rate, but still, if it's just about getting money, there are lots of ways to make money. Give you another example, just to drive that home. Don't chase the money, because if it's about money, I had a leak in one of my pipes, and I went to turn off the water with the valve, and the valve broke. And so not only was the water leaking from the pipe, but the water was leaking from the valve. So I'm trying to figure out how to get this done. My wife, in haste, calls a plumber. Plumber comes over, and he says, "Oh, the valve is destroyed. I can't fix this. I'm gonna have to come back for that." Takes a wrench and turns it off with the wrench, stops the leak. He said that's $150. He was there about 10 minutes. He made $150 in 10 minutes. If it's just about the money, you can be a plumber. But again, are you willing to do what a plumber does? Are you willing to get the requisite skills to be a plumber? Are you willing to do that? And so really, when you talk about can things make a lot of money, there are plenty of ways to make lots of money. You can make lots of money being a plumber, a nurse, an electrician. There's plenty of ways to make lots of money. But are you willing to do what it takes to get that? And in probability, will it net you the outcome you're looking for with the amount of time, energy, and effort you're putting in? And then as far as, trying to get those skills off of YouTube, great place to start to get familiar with things. But let's be honest, you really need a hands-on mentor, somebody who's done those type of things to walk you through that process. So is it good for me? Absolutely not. I'm not taking the time to trade because there's active income and there's passive income. I try to put most of my effort into passive income, where I do something once or twice, have to maintain it, but money continues to come in, and I limit my active income, and trading is definitely active income. It's just like having another job. So I don't know if that answers your question to your satisfaction, but that's what it is. I'd love to hear you guys, your comments in the comment section. Keep the questions coming, and I'll see you next Tuesday.